Welcome back to all of our friends, family, and foes to the Foxx Den Sports podcast, along with my three sons, Kellen, Gary, and Gannon. I am Todd Fox, and together we make up the Foxx Den Sports podcast. And with today marking our 79th episode, what player do you think of that wore the jersey number 79?
Can't go wrong with Bob St. Clair.
Good old Bobby.
And why is that, Gannon?
Just a class dude. You always heard good things on and off the field. Never put a player down and never put himself up,
Okay.
I'm going to go with Ronnie Staley, tackle for the Ravens right now. He's the right tackle. Last episode, I went Orlando Brown. This episode, I'm going the opposite side with Ronnie Staley, drafted out of Notre Dame, I believe. He's one of the best offensive linemen in the league right now, if not the best. He did have his first year back from an injury last year, but yeah, one of the most highly touted tackles in the game right now and highly paid.
I got to go Ray Childress, or as Gary used to call him, Ray Childress. He was drafted in 1985, round one, pick 3 to the Houston Oilers, whose jerseys are making a comeback this year. 5-time Pro Bowl, 1-time All-Pro, 887 tackles, 76.5 sacks, 19 forced fumbles. You love to see it.
That's good. Good job. All right. I'll tell you. You guys are all wrong. It's Harvey Martin, Dallas Cowboys. The third round pick in the 1973 draft, pick number 53 out of East Texas. Harvey, he was a Super Bowl champion in Super Bowl 12, and he also was a co-MVP along with Randy White in Super Bowl 12 as well. NFL Defensive Player of the Year 1977. Sadly, Mr. Harvey Martin did unfortunately pass away in 2001 at the age of 51. But Harvey Martin, during my childhood, dude was at the time, I thought he was a big time sack machine. He was good. So Harvey Martin is number 79. I know, Garrett, you've got some information on the NBA. I think you want to talk about a little bit. What do you got?
Yes, today I want you guys to, take a step into the room with me of where David Stern takes over as commissioner and changes the way the NBA's culture and just thought process for GMs is thought of, because David Stern in 30 years of commissioner had 8 total teams win an NBA championship.
Yeah.
Adam Silver in almost 10 years has already had 6. So in those, first off, I want to see if you guys can name those 8 teams for David Stern. And
Boston.
that is from 1984 to 2014.
Boston, Chicago,
Yeah.
Lakers, San Antonio, Detroit,
The Rockets up in there? I don't remember.
Houston Rockets.
Yeah.
Was Dallas?
that?
Dallas won their one.
Yeah.
Was it
So one
Miami?
left.
Is it
Yeah,
Miami?
that was pretty quick. So, but yeah, Adam Silver already 6, all of which, other than Warriors, who have won 4. That's the main difference right there. But Cavs, Raptors, Lakers, Bucks, and Nuggets all winning 1. But yeah, and also another thing. So 9 players in the NBA history have accounted for 48 of the 77 championships.
9 players?
62% of every NBA championship divided through 9 players. So another one.
Did they
Let's see if
play
you
on
guys
the?
can name? No.
Did any of them play on the same team?
No.
Okay.
Want to see if you guys can name all 9 and how many they won.
Bill Russell.
Yeah.
9 or 12?
He went 11, didn't he?
11.
I thought 11.
Yeah.
11, yeah.
Jordan
LeBron.
6.
Jordan with 6. Yeah, LeBron.
4.
Magic's
Curry
got
4 should
Magic's
be there, right?
got 5. Kareem's got 6.
Kareem's not a part of that list
Why is he not a part?
because there's another player.
Kobe
Okay.
5.
Yeah.
James
Eh.
Worthy 6.
What? Who was it? Wilt?
No.
Tim
Did
Duncan
we say him?
5. Tim Duncan 5.
Good one.
Tim Duncan, yeah. You're missing one of them's kind of different. Doesn't
No,
have as
Robert
many,
Horry. Robert Horry 6.
but no.
Really?
I said Jordan, right?
What time frame are you talking, Gary, for different?
Talking like the 50s and then the 70s, I believe.
Bob Cousy?
No.
Not a bad guess.
I never heard of the guy from the 50s.
50s.
Can you give us a hint? I don't know if you haven't
One
heard
of them's George Mikan. He had 5.
George Mikan was
yeah.
with the Lakers,
Yeah.
Minnesota Lakers, though.
Minneapolis.
Minneapolis.
And y'all, now you guys are just missing 2, unless I missed one of those names. But
What
You're
team?
thinking Curry. I think Gannon said Curry.
What year? What time frame?
like 70s, 80s,
Oh, still.
70s? Well, I wonder
maybe
what-
the 80s, just the 80s. Then
I mean, it was.
Larry Bird.
Larry with 3.
Yeah.
Oh, is
I
that
thought
one
we
of the
said
guys you were
Lawrence.
talking about? I thought we already said Celtics, though. Oh,
Well,
they
yeah,
couldn't,
but-
they couldn't have played together. Okay, I see what you're saying.
It's not Shaq or Kobe. I don't know why I'm thinking
You guys
that.
already said Kobe, yeah.
Yeah.
So what year's the other one or time frame?
Same, I think.
Same.
80s.
80s? Hakeem? I mean,
Magic Johnson
I said
with
Magic.
5.
We did say
That's what I was
Magic.
saying. Okay, I didn't hear Magic,
All right,
but
Magic was one of the first ones Dad said. I will co-sign that one.
I didn't hear it. I had a
But
lot
we
of
didn't
names just
we
blah, blah,
didn't
blah,
get
blah, blah.
George though.
No, I didn't get George.
Gary's just fighting for that.
How many
that
did he
Roughly
win? How
30-minute podcast. We'll spend 15 minutes, and he just
Yeah,
didn't
trying to
hear Magic.
guess. How many did George Mikan win, though?
He won 5.
Did he? Okay.
The list was mainly referring to so George won the most of his decade. Bill obviously his.
Oh,
Magic
okay.
and Larry
Okay.
were fighting for theirs. Kobe or LeBron, not LeBron. Michael dominated his decade. Kobe was won a lot
Yeah,
with Tim Duncan included, and the LeBron and Steph have swapped.
didn't
So,
Kareem won 6 though? Didn't he? He won 5 with the Lakers and 1 with Milwaukee.
yeah, but I think he was in between, like I'm saying, like the Bill Russell and Magics,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
And he was with Magic.
Anyways.
I think he was the Magic with 5 of those wins. So
yeah.
Oh, so yeah.
Anyways, so when Adam Silver took over, him like the NBA and then the CBA, so like the people who are deciding like television rights, stuff like that, like one of the things they agreed on the most was getting like some diversity in who was winning, because I think we all got to the norm where it was just back-to-back winners or like same team was winning every 2 to 3 years, and it
sure.
not didn't get old, but if it wasn't your team, like it just kind of sucked.
Yeah, it stinks if it's not your team.
Yeah.
So are you saying they asked LeBron to keep switching teams?
Yeah. But no, since he's taken over, like I'm trying to figure out, and I don't know this. That's why I'm asking you guys, like, what do you think's changed in the process of, I guess, being the GM of a team and also just the NBA that's allowed for so many different teams to win? And it's
Free
not
ag-
like it's the same players switching teams.
Free agency.
Like it's just the different teams and different players in general. Because, like I said, obviously minus the Warriors with that dynasty, like LeBron's had a couple, then you had Kawhi win 1, Giannis win 1, and Jokic win 1.
Free agency has been probably one of the biggest factors because that didn't come into play until probably what 90s.
Yeah, but it's been around for a minute still.
No, I agree. But
Almost
I mean, I'm
30
just saying,
years.
like
Seeing
years
what changed
ago,
with free agency.
I mean, like those Boston teams that won 11 championships or whatever, 11 and 13 years. Of course, there weren't very many teams around either, though, at that time. But they kept those same players, so that's how they won championships.
I think
even in those teams, the Lakers with Magic and Kareem.
it's also much more of an aggressive league. Like every year we see 1, 2, maybe 3 teams get added into trying to be contenders, and like people are trying to capitalize in their 3-year span. Like there's a lot more aggression within just the
Some
realm
teams
of
will spend
trying
a
to
lot of money.
capitalize.
Pull a Rams, spend a lot of
Yeah.
money for a couple of years, and then be irrelevant after that.
Like that's like the Raptors. They did exactly that. And now I'm trying to think. I guess that only counts for one, maybe in the past decade. But I guess
I
if it
mean,
hasn't
yeah,
worked, there's still been chances. Like a lot of teams have been pushing for that. Like the Lakers, they've done that too, I guess, too.
Sure. So, I mean, do you think it's good or bad for the NBA to have what considered parity or not?
That's what I was going to ask. But
I think it's
I think it's
way
great.
better. Yeah.
I think it
They-
gets the fans more involved because they know that within 5 years you could be a contender.
They could have a shot. Yeah, no, I agree 100%.
That's OKC having the second pick
Yeah.
last year, and then we'll be top of the West in 2-3 years. Like,
Well, here's what's funny: like those dynasty teams, is there going to be that team that everybody hates? Because like when I was a kid, I'm not going to say it was all like this, but there was a lot of Laker fans or a lot of Celtics fans. I sided with the Lakers when I was a kid because I liked Magic and Kareem and those guys. Couldn't stand Boston, hated Boston. Now I'm like, man, why did I hate Boston? Because Larry Bird, Danny Ainge, all the Kevin McHale, Robert Parrish, all these guys are fantastic, right? Bulls, I was on the Bulls side of winning all those championships. And like right in San Antonio, it was kind of like at the beginning, I was happy. And then after, they were just kind of like San Antonio they were different. I mean, they didn't talk smack. And I mean, Tim Duncan was just classy, to be honest with you. So they were just, I don't want to say a boring champion, but they, you know what I mean?
it's
But
good. 2 of their 3 best players were
and
foreign,
Golden
so they
State
were-
though is the team I'm just like, when they won their first, I'm like, yeah, it's cool, man. Now I'm like, I can't stand the guys. You know what I mean? So I want them to lose. So who would you say does that make any sense? Are there going to be teams that people just like the main one that everybody despises nowadays or no?
Yeah, there will be.
if it goes the way everybody thinks it's going to go, it's going to be Oklahoma City and San Antonio.
As
Yeah, I was gonna say
as
us
what?
The
two
hated teams.
and Memphis.
Or you like one or the other, but
Okay.
some people might hate both.
Yeah.
I think Memphis as well.
What the only thing
It
about
could be.
free
I'd like to
agency-
say yes, but
what's that?
I'd like to say yes to Memphis, but it's hard to know like if they're going
Yeah.
to get that good.
The only
But if
thing
they get
about
good,
free
for sure.
agency is these big cities, the Bostons, the Philadelphias, those kind of teams are going to always try to pay people to play, in the big city. Do you have something to say, Yann? No? Go ahead.
I don't know about Philadelphia though. I think the only reason they're relevant is because of Embiid, and pretty soon, or it's going
Well-
to go back to
Well,
nobody
pretty
thinks
soon,
of them.
I think I'm excited for when people realize Detroit's one of the biggest markets because they've been in the mud for years. But once they get back to good, once all their lottery picks are going to bring them back up, that's going to be exciting. I think they'll be the eastern side because we named 3 West teams. I think they'll be the eastern side of teams that kind of just make the semifinals, finals every year for the next few years once they get to that level.
If
You know-
Bronny gets good enough to start whatever team he's on, most of the country will hate.
Is he going to be okay? That's my question.
Oh, he'll be fine.
Yeah, I was scary though.
It is scary, but I think he'll be.
I
he'll be
do agree though. Like he's gonna have so much baggage from people just from
His
his
dad.
dad feelings towards his dad. Like it's just
There's going to be 3 groups. There's going to be the people that hate him because they hate LeBron. There's going to be people that hate him because he's not LeBron, and then there's going to be people that love him.
the people who hate him because
That's- yeah.
they think he's only there because of LeBron. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
that's-
they're like maybe the people that expect him to be just as good as LeBron, and like maybe I hope he can be, but odds are probably not. LeBron's one of the best of all time. Like,
Sure.
it's a lot to live up to.
But yeah, you're still going to have like the Lakers are always going to try to buy players. They're the Yankees of
Just because of
basketball.
history.
Well, I mean,
You know what I mean?
it's like it's more just the market and the
History.
History, but I was gonna say, I can't think like you get shown off basically. It's a bigger market, like the display of you more than the money.
Okay.
Like they're not directly paying you money, but you're gonna get more money from endorsements and stuff just because you're on LA, New York City, Miami.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what's crazy is New York's the biggest, what do you call it, media market, and they can't get anybody to play
They're a
there.
bunch of stinkers.
You know what I mean?
That's the
They
thing,
just-
though, is Oklahoma
The
City.
opposite.
Oklahoma City's on the way up
Yeah,
to being
no,
probably a top half city in the NBA, especially
Yeah.
with the new arena. Like, I think if new arena and all the stuff that the city and the state's doing and stuff, we could be top 10 in the
Which
next decade for
Will
like,
be
and including our history of hopefully the next decade. Like, so
I would say it's gonna be tragic that. Well, I think is gonna be our best years. Some of them might be played like in some kind of dumpster arena. I don't know what they're gonna do, or like, because are they gonna tear
Well,
down and then build up the new one, or are they gonna
no.
build a separate one?
they'll build there's like a Cox Convention Center across the street
Oh, I thought they
that
weren't
they're-
doing
that-
that.
because the city owns that. So that's what people are
Oh,
thinking they're going
I
to
thought
knock
they
down
weren't.
and build it there.
I thought they weren't gonna do that. I hope so, because yeah, like I said, I want like SGA and Chet's prime years together.
sure.
I
They
don't
be
think
in, like,
the
the
city could.
Tulsa
I don't
BOK
think the
Center.
city could afford to have them play somewhere else
No,
and
That's a
and
good
build
point.
the stadium
To
and
be able
everything
to,
like that.
yeah, you're right.
perfect area for sure. But no,
That'd
I
be
don't even
huge.
understand the ins and outs of that. Like what is making it a more of an NBA arena. I don't understand, the difference. I don't know if any of you guys do, but
Size wise, it's going to be supposed to be a lot bigger. It's supposed to have a lot more like fan interaction stuff.
Yeah.
Which couldn't tell you. I've only been to like 1 or 2 NBA stadiums. I don't know what the heck that means, but it's just pretty much the whole thing in general is just an upgrade. Like, I don't think the amenities at our stadium's even on par with 90% of the rest of the league.
That's what I was gonna say. Our arena is not that good right now.
really,
I mean, it wasn't built for an NBA team. It was just like it's been there long before them.
what are you when you say?
True.
Do you think they'll build it like for more people? Because I mean, to me, you don't want to build it too big. You know what I mean? NBA to me
Well,
is like 18 to 22.
The NBA minimum's the NBA minimum's about to be like 20,000, I think,
Is it really?
or,
Yeah.
or if not more. Yeah.
I think,
So like,
I think our arena's 18 right now, or 17
I think
and
you're
a
right.
half. or
Yeah,
something.
we're in the bottom like 10 size wise.
If everything goes according to plan, they will fill that arena.
Oh yeah. No, I agree
They
100%.
will.
Yeah.
They will.
They just Mark Dagnall just signed a contract extension. He's phenomenal for sure. I mean, then you get, like we just said, I mean, Chet, Shea, those are the two probably when you
Oh.
the building blocks.
And talking about teams that hate and stuff,
Yeah.
OKC hasn't had a player since Westbrook that gets that much hate as Chet. Like that guy gets so much publicity,
But why? I
or
don't
like hype,
understand.
but so much hate because he's
Yeah.
a unique player.
Okay.
And
Everybody
he's
hates
got
hyped up players,
confidence.
and then he's
got
skinny,
a lot of
so
confidence.
it's easy to make fun of.
But like
like-
that guy's gonna bring in a lot of hate, and it's gonna be kind of sweet though.
Yeah, that'd be
And
kinda
two,
cool.
he's the only one on the. I don't know. Him and Giddy both. People hate Giddy too, but like they will
They love it.
put their hands up on the court. Like somebody comes at them, they're not going to be afraid. Like they'll talk on the
Oh,
court. They'll talk
yeah.
to coaches. Like
Yeah,
they have.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like the thing that comes to mind is last year in the play-in game when Giddy got kicked in the stuff, and
And he
like
started
just going
saying-
at the guy, and everyone
Yeah.
had to hold him back. Like Giddy was
Yeah.
about to swing.
Yeah,
I did see
but-
like a poll on Twitter of who was most likely to punch another player this year, and
I think it was Giddy.
Giddy won.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Huh. That's
so stuff
interesting.
like that, like
obviously a joke, but yeah.
but
yeah.
I didn't even know that he was that fired up because he's
I just
I
the
don't know.
best part about it is while he's doing it, Shea's holding him back, and he's like he's cracking up while he's trying to
Shea
hold
is-
him back.
well because he's
Yeah.
like a kid out there trying to fight. all
Yeah,
these
with like an
grown men.
Australian accent, like
Well, and,
there's
like,
you know
He's
what I
still
mean?
knows what
got he's
words
still
he
got
was
his
using.
One Direction
I love it.
haircut. Like,
There's
I
no
love it,
telling
though.
what words he
I
was
love it.
using.
Because he's not how old is he? Like 20 years old or
20,
something? Yeah. That's what
21.
I'm
he's
saying.
younger than those two twins that just got drafted with all
Yeah.
the hype.
No, I love it. I think it's
And
great.
Case and Wallace, he's younger than him and Chet.
No, that'll be, I mean, if all goes according to plan, yeah, us and San Antonio, and what stinks is we're in the same conference. But
Here's what has to happen, which we've talked about this before. Got to keep them together because we had an insanely young, one of the greatest young cores you'll ever see.
Great
We just got to keep them together.
transition into
To
my
the
next
new-
thing is I was looking through this kind of Twitter feed and stuff and it made me kind of realize, do you guys think Sam Presti knew that those three weren't going to be able to win one? And so he's like, you know what? Like, get rid of Harden, got what he could, kept Durant and Westbrook. So, like, obviously players that could win it, but he wasn't going to be surprised if we didn't. And then just slowly just got to the point where we were still relevant and making the playoffs, selling out 1 year, and then 2 years later we're a competitor again.
I think yes, because here you go. Like Presti's always been like he loves the personable guys and like the attitude of people. And with Harden like partying during the NBA Finals, I don't think he wanted any business to do with that. And also, he knew Ibaka was a better choice for fit wise. Like,
Yeah.
At that point, people don't like to admit it, but at that point, Ibaka was one of the best interior defenders, averaging I think almost 3 blocks a game. That might be an exaggeration, but he was a way better fit to put with Durant and Westbrook. And I think that's a good point. Like I think he had an idea that Harden was crazy talented, but it'd be way better to put him elsewhere and not go into luxury tax for a decade.
Yeah.
On risking somebody. And we've seen Harden is not serious enough to be able to step up in the playoffs. And I always hate that narrative, but after a decade of it, like it's just true. He's always finding reasons to like blame and stuff. I don't know.
He's got 1 foot in and 1 foot out, it seems like.
Yeah.
I mean, whenever your teammates are even calling it out, like, yeah, it's a problem.
Yeah.
Because Joel said something after they lost this year.
No, I
so-
agree. I just
Which
don't.
Joel also, but
Yeah. If Joel's saying it, I feel like that's even
Oh,
pretty bad.
He knows because he's.
Well, I'm saying because he's doing
He's-
too.
Yeah, he's not clutch either. But I don't know if Presti honestly knew. I do think I think he thought he could win with Durant. I really do. I think he thought if as long as he had KD there, he would be able to win. But I don't. I'd love to be a fly on the wall when it all happened, or put some truth serum in him. But like if he really knew if Durant was leaving or not, or if it was like just a shock.
He did.
He what?
I wouldn't think he did because remember
Yeah.
he told Westbrook the night before that he was staying. Like,
Yeah.
if he told Presti that he was
unfortunate.
leaving, Westbrook would have known.
I don't think
Yeah.
I think maybe he knew the Harden part, and that's why I got rid of him. But like, if he knew anything, if he knew he couldn't win with Durant, Durant would have been traded because we could have got
Yeah.
so much for him. It
Oh,
wasn't worth
yeah.
dragging us
true.
on.
But
Yeah.
I think maybe the Harden part, he knew that 3 couldn't work together. But if he knew that if he knew Westbrook and Durant weren't going to win, we would have got rid of them or got rid of one of them sooner.
got rid of
like,
Westbrook.
You wouldn't
yeah.
wouldn't let Durant walk. You would trade Durant because Durant.
I agree.
We could have. Who knows what we could have got for Durant? That's like trading. Like at that time,
Yeah.
Giannis.
trading one of the best players in the league, top 3, if not the
Yeah,
best.
we didn't get very much for that.
we didn't get anything. But
You know what I mean? Well, but yeah, we didn't get squat, but yeah, you're right. Go ahead.
I think the second Kevin Durant signed is the second Presley started playing for the future because you see him bring in players that he knew down the road he could trade for quite a bit. Like, obviously, this was a
Yeah.
lucky one, but like Sabonis,
Yeah.
drafting him and having him and just Oladipo for Paul
Oladipo,
George,
yeah.
like, and then you got Jeremy Grant who we traded for, and then a couple years later traded for a first round pick.
Sure.
Like players like that. I think that's whenever he started honestly just building a team to get these players a lot of like the ball in their hands quite a bit to show their talent, and then dump them.
He's a
Personally,
genius.
I think
Westbrook
those
was
early.
there
I
to
agree
keep the
100%,
fans
yeah.
coming, and then the second that Westbrook looked like obviously
Had
I
some
know
value.
value, but
Nah,
now again
personally,
I know we
think
got
that-
Paul George, I know we got Carmelo in the middle of that too,
Well, here's
but
the
I
thing
think
is-
that was also just a part of it. Like bring it in, give it a couple years. If not, we're gonna trade them for a heck of a lot more than what we traded for them.
I was about to say because George, like you trade for him and you still have a way out in case it doesn't work out. He never really set in stone what he wanted to try. Like a lot of teams right now, they're putting all their eggs in this basket for right now, and if it doesn't work, they're screwed. But
Yeah.
he opened up a slight contender. We were never quite there, but we were close. And then he still, like you said, he turned it and then faced it into. We couldn't have even imagine how much we've gotten back for Durant or not Durant, Paul George and Westbrook.
Yeah, because remember when we traded Harden, we got some. I don't know. It was
The
kinda
Jeremy
like-
Lamb.
Yeah, kind of garbage. And you're right. We didn't get anything at all for Kevin Durant. And that's, man, because he did all this like in the last, since, I mean, Paul George is kind of the one that started all this process, don't you think? Like all the getting all those, acquiring all those picks.
Yeah, I mean, you could say so, but that's mainly just because of the lump sum we got for it. But
I think more he was just I think earlier on he was he was really good at rolling with the punches because you can say what all this plan, he didn't know Paul George was going to request a trade and then Westbrook was going to request a trade. They got their value up, but like it's not like he signed Paul George planning on Paul George to blow the playoffs and then request a trade. Like he began by rolling with the punches properly.
Yeah.
But he recovered and then saw what he
Sure.
needed to do because after that, after we got rid of them, we had nothing. We had some kid from LA that we were hoping was going to be good, but like nobody knew he was going to be this good.
I did.
He looked really good.
Well,
But nobody knew he was going to be one
you
of the
talking about
best in the
Shea?
league. Yeah. So
Jerry-
like he
Jer-
comes in.
Jerry West knew.
Yeah, I had an idea.
really quick, Paul George, that's another thing. Paul George didn't request. Sam Presti told him when he signed him, he'd give him 2 years.
Oh, I didn't
Him
know
and
that.
Westbrook
And
both. He was
also-
like, I'll give you guys 2 years for all this, 2 to 3 years. And then after that,
It was
'Cause-
1 year though, wasn't it?
Well,
It's two.
he
No, it
signed
was-
the extension.
No,
and
he played
said,
2, but remember he signed a contract
but
with
whenever he
us.
signed that one, he said try it out for another year, basically. To him and Westbrook and Presti, they agreed on it.
yeah, that was
Also,
more
one thing-
Paul requesting to stay for an extra year.
One
didn't
thing
know
I forgot to mention is like, Presti would have paid Harden to luxury tax, but like Clay Bennett told like he didn't want to go into luxury tax.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, I forgot to say so what I meant was like, yeah, he just chose Harden or Ibaka above Harden. He would have chosen them both though.
Okay,
but
so
Clay Bennett said no.
had Clay Bennett said yes, do you think we would have ever saw a championship? No.
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 Look at every single one of those players individually.
Yeah, they can't mesh.
Yeah, but I think their ego was just low enough that we might have figured it out.
One of them
Their
would have
egos
broken
grew
out.
later because they all went on alone and started doing crazy things.
One of them
Yeah.
would have broken out though. I think.
And it,
Would have 100%
Ego-wise.
Harden.
sure.
Yeah.
Harden, yeah.
Yeah, I had him. It's like him, Westbrook, and then Durant last, I think. But
Right. And then, but then again, none of us knew at the time he was going to be like that scoring guy that he was in Houston. You know what I mean?
I mean, he was a
Historic.
really good. He was just the sixth man. Like I
Right.
think we all knew because we were all devastated when he got traded.
No, I don't disagree, but I'm just saying, I remember he went to Houston and all of a sudden it was like 30 plus points a game. I'm like, man, where was this? Or even though he was sixth man, I mean, okay, let me ask you this real quick. I know we're running out of time, but hypothetically, we go back in time. Who do you get rid of first of those 4?
Westbrook.
I go the exact same way we did it.
Yeah, no,
What do
Westbrook
you
is way
exact
better than
same
Harden.
way.
Okay. If I saw the situation we were in now and I didn't know the future of that,
Right.
I agree with Gary.
Right.
But if let's say you have a 5-year span and I go back in time, I'm trying out Westbrook because
That's what I would do.
Westbrook
I agree
was-
with you 100%.
Westbrook was on another planet compared to James Harden at that point.
Yeah,
so that's
but-
not even. I don't
Well, I'm saying
understand
since
what
we know the
person-
outcome.
We're
is all
saying
I'm
we're saying
saying.
going back, knowing what we know now. What would you do?
Yeah, exactly what Gary said. Exactly what we did.
I still
Yeah.
wouldn't. No, I
Actually,
would've-
I'm gonna change my answer. I'm gonna go get rid of Harden. Because if he didn't get injured in 2015, we win that. We put up 5 more points than one of the 2016 Western Conference Finals. We beat the Cavs that year. I changed my answer. I go with get rid of Harden still. I
Nah,
changed.
I go to Westbrook because in my opinion, he's the whole sole reason why none of that worked.
Well, but he had way
But
more
you
time.
have
than-
nothing
just-
to back that up.
that's what
Yeah,
exactly
Every
what
player
I'm
that's
saying. I don't
ever played with
understand why
Westbrook
Dad
loves
still
playing with
think-
Westbrook.
Yeah,
'Cause
I don't
you're-
understand why Dad still thinks that when we have like all the proof in the world
What
showing
proof?
that that's not true,
What
and
proof?
nothing backing up Dad's claim.
Every
Well,
player
nothing.
loves playing with Westbrook. Nobody has a bad thing to say about him. Harden's
And
the one
not
that's going out,
loves.
causing problems, requesting trades.
Kevin
every
Durant
six-
didn't like playing with him. The
That
best
is not
doesn't like
true.
playing with
That
anybody.
is not true.
Yeah, it
He's
is
come
true.
out and said
Look
that
at
that's
any
one of his
podcast
favorite
he's
teammates.
been on recently.
Of course he's saying that. He's going to say that.
No, he's
Yeah,
not.
because it's
Kevin Durant,
true.
out of anybody, is going to speak his mind.
No.
Kevin Durant doesn't
he's
care what
saying that.
anybody thinks.
He's saying
Okay,
that right
but
now because it
here,
looks good.
If
He
Kevin
might play
Durant
He
with
doesn't
it.
care
says
about what
that-
looks
Because
good.
Westbrook
That was
took terrible
almost
shots.
a decade ago.
Westbrook was
Here.
terrible.
No, I was
Westbrook
about to
is-
say Westbrook had so much more talent than Harden.
Yeah,
if
I
we
agree.
were to trade
agree.
Westbrook
I
and
agree.
keep Harden, Harden wouldn't have been the same player. Would have been terrible,
I don't
kind
know.
of, compared to what Westbrook
I just-
turned out to be.
I just know if Westbrook would have not shot and he tried to drive to the basket like Jordan, he would have been better.
Yes, everybody
Well,
has a
blame
thing
the
they can
coach.
improve, but if Harden didn't party and
think-
club every night and request a trade every 2 months, he
Yeah,
could be one of the best.
I don't think
If
you can blame the coach. I think Westbrook is on a he's uncoachable. And that's been said.
But
We've heard
if-
that. Don't tell me you
if-
haven't heard that. He's an uncoachable player.
Yeah, I hear that from people on Twitter. Never heard
What I'm
that
saying
from a
is,
former
if
coach.
you change, if it was rookie year and you had a different coach, if you had Mark Daignault on him back in the day,
No, I agree. Daignault wouldn't let him get away with that.
that's why
Daignault, I love
that's
that
why I'm
dude.
blaming the coach.
Nah.
Or a
Okay,
veteran
we had a
President,
terrible
presence, but
coach.
we
We all
didn't.
know this.
We didn't have any veteran presence. I just don't
Nick
understand. Like
Collison,
that's been
that's it.
saying that,
I've been saying it for years and I'm right.
and
every
it's
time.
not true.
It
It
is
is
true.
like, and Kellen said, players say how much it's not how much they love, how much he's one of their best teammates they've had in their basketball like career. Like
Why does
yeah.
every player keep like
Yeah.
Paul George wanted him? Harden wants
Paul
to go play with him
George.
for a third time.
yeah, Bradley Beal loved him.
Yeah.
Durant loved him.
Durant did
Perkins
not
loved
love him.
him.
Stop it.
Yes,
Did
yes,
he?
I don't
he
care. He
did.
did not. No. No.
The rookie, the
That's just the media wanting him to not like him.
Yeah, Durant does
foreign-
not care what people think. He'll tell you what he thinks.
the foreign rookie in
I think he's scared of
in,
Westbrook.
nah, never mind.
Go ahead, Gannon. I'm sorry. What'd you say? What are you saying? Say it. All right. So I want you guys to rank these legendary point guards blindly without knowing who comes next. All right. Number 1, John Stockton.
5.
4 or 5.
3,
Oscar
Four.
Robertson.
4.
3.
4.
I said 4.
Chris Paul.
5.
5.
3.
Steph Curry.
1.
1.
2.
Magic Johnson.
2.
1.
2.
That's
Gotta be
would have been my same list.
Yeah, I probably would have kept it.
Westbrook should have been 3, but he wasn't
Oh,
on there. so-
good grief. That'll be another podcast.
You just don't understand what you witnessed for 3 years in a row of the most dominant player. When you can be plus 18 every game for a playoff run, but the second you go on the bench, you're minus 58. That's a problem.
Also,
Not a good
2015
player.
was like we would have won if Pat Bev didn't injure him, but Westbrook was like the
Who won that
entire
year?
motor.
Do you remember who won that year? I don't know.
It was Golden State, wasn't it? Yeah,
Was it really?
yeah. But I'm saying he was the entire. I don't know.
I don't know. I can't be convinced. I just never was the biggest fan of the man.
You probably think Baker isn't a very good quarterback for OU since he didn't win a championship, huh?
Well, I
Since
don't
that's
think that at
basically
all.
all you.
I don't think that
Like,
at all. I think
you
he was a very
you
good
think
quarterback.
Dak stinks because he hasn't won? You think Westbrook stinks because he hasn't won? Like
No,
any player who plays
No.
for your teams that doesn't win at all, you think they need to get rid of and dump and move
I
on.
thought Kevin Durant was really good. Not, and I'm not, and that's
you're-
not.
Well, yeah, he's won one.
But
so-
I thought he was good before that. I thought he was great before that.
That'd be idiotic to say that he wasn't anything but great.
Right.
Like,
That's what I'm
Kevin
saying,
Durant.
though. I mean, you can't say that. I mean, Baker Mayfield, yeah, I think he was a really good college quarterback. I don't think he's a leader of people, though. I think he makes some
Well, that
real
wasn't the
bonehead
question, but yeah.
decisions. So, anyway, but we would like to thank all of our listeners for listening to our Foxx Den Sports Podcast, taking the time out of your day. We really do appreciate it. And as always, I want to remind everyone that iron sharpens iron.
Please stay safe.
Be savage and not average.
And remember to join the Skulk.
Until next time, good.
Goodbye,
Bye,
everybody.
everybody.